These are my confessions. So, I have a confession for you. That's why I just did that. I went to weigh myself a couple days ago, and I had gained a grand total of 2 pounds. It may not seem like a lot, but when you are trying to lose weight, at the very worst, you want to stay at the same rate. You don't want to gain weight. And so it was very frustrating. And some people may say, oh, it's not a lot. And other people may say, oh, maybe it's muscle. And while I would love to blame it on my guns, they are not the cause. It's my mouth. Keep it real. It's not muscle. I ate it, negate it. That's what Shape Magazine has every month, and that's real. I was frustrated. I was angry when I first saw it. I was like, man. And then I thought to myself, pause. 2 things. One, I ate the food and it tasted good. And 2, I know exactly what to do to lose it. So waste no more time. Let's go. Let's lose this. So I wanted to share it with you because this is an honest relationship I'm having with you, and all these things contribute to the journey to fitness, to Fitnessville, Fitnessland, whatever you want to call it. This is our journey, and so hopefully my downs can help you, and you can prevent these things or know how to deal with these things and whatnot, and never give up, even if you fall off the wagon like I did for the month of October. Now let's talk a little bit about what happened. Okay, so I had a mentality, it won't hurt. And it starts little, you eat a little thing here, a little thing there, it won't hurt. And apparently, clearly it does. Mind you, I was still working out the entire time that I was eating all these things, and I managed to gain weight. So I want to encourage you to continue working out even on your off days. On days when you feel like, man, it just sucked, blah, blah, blah. Keep working out, and here's why. You put in calories into your body, and they're converted into energy. They're used as energy when you're working out, and what's not used is then stored as fat. So what fat is really a concentration of energy in your body, and if you are putting in those calories but you're not working out, so the energy part is out because you're not using it, it's going to store more calories as fat. You don't want that. So try to balance it. If you don't feel like going to the gym one day, try not to eat as bad that day. Or if you have eaten bad all day, don't feel like, man, I feel so heavy, I'm not going to go to the gym, I just messed today up, today doesn't count. Don't do that, because it's going to add up. I'm living proof of it. So that's a huge thing. Another thing is stress. And I joke with my sister, I was going through a bad breakup, whatever, it wasn't that serious. And that, among other things, just, it's stressful and you're dealing with it, and somehow the human body craves sugary items to cope with stress. Sugary items they increase your serotonin levels, which boosts your mood. And if I look like I'm reading from something, I am, because I decided to make some notes so I don't forget anything. And so it really boosts your mood to eat these sugary items, but then you come to a crash, or you wake up the next morning feeling guilty and, slimy or any kind of way. And another thing we go to is fats. Fatty items, they tend to, they increase your endorphins, so they reduce the feelings of pain. And that's why we go to these foods instead of going to something like protein, which scientifically it's been proven it's better for you to eat that when you're feeling, sad, depressed, stressed, whatever the case may be. So try it. Try creating these healthy habits. I'm trying it as well. When you're angry or whatever, instead of just grabbing the nearest chocolate bar, try having some fish or some eggs or something like that. So today, the week of November 2nd, today is November 2nd, 2013, I am going to share with you what I ate last month. A few things, because there were a lot of things. A few things I had that potentially contributed to this 2-pound gain. One of them was a caramel frappuccino from Starbucks. Love it. I love caramel frappuccinos. I hadn't had one in months, probably almost a year. So, mind you, this was just a lunch meeting, a coffee meeting with a lady, and so we went to Starbucks, and she grabbed herself some tea, and I was like, you know what? I haven't had a frappuccino in a long time. I'm going to get one. So I got myself a Frappuccino, and of course you can't drink without eating, so I got a cookie. Now listen to the intake from that. And mind you, this is all on their website. They're not hiding anything. But when your mind is set, when you want something, you're not going to go check the calories first. Rarely would you do that, because you already know that regardless you're going to get it. And so I didn't look at the calories before I got it. I was like, I want a caramel Frappuccino, I'm going to get it. So I did. So this is what I took in a drink. 410 calories, 15 grams of fat, which is 23% of the fat in a 2,000 calorie diet. And side note, mind you, a 2,000 calorie diet is the average diet that most of these labels go by for people to maintain a healthy weight or maintain their weight. Now, we're not trying to maintain our weight, we're trying to lose weight. So we need to be in a 500 calorie deficit to lose a pound. So then, let's say if I'm going by a 1,500 to 1,800 daily caloric intake, this would be more than 23%. 15 grams of fat will be more than 23% in my diet. So it's kind of a big deal. 9 grams of saturated fat, 66 grams of carbs, and 64 grams of sugar. That's disgusting. 64 grams of sugar is more like 2 or 3 cans of soda, the amount of sugar in there. It's disgusting. I wish I could demonstrate somehow, but you could Google it, look at pictures. It's disgusting. 64 grams of sugar. And mind you, the fat's already fat. The carb converts to fat, and the sugars convert to carbs or to fat. So eventually all of these things are going to convert to fat in your body if you're not using the energy. So that's disgusting, because none of them are nutrients. Then the cookie. One cookie had 200 calories, 10 grams of fat, 6 grams of saturated fat, which is 30% of the 2,000 calorie intake, 26 grams of carbs, and 13 grams of sugar. Quite honestly, when you read these things and you see the science and all of that, you would really think that we'd all be a lot bigger than we are. Somehow our body or the grace of God or something has to be helping us not to be bigger than we are, because putting all this in our bodies, that's an issue. So I had that, not as a meal. I went home and ate later. That was just coffee. That was just coffee with a friend. So in coffee with a friend, I had over 600 calories just from coffee. That's not the main meal. Another day, I had large fries from McDonald's. Large fries from McDonald's, and it's on their website. Again, nothing to hide. 500 calories in the fries. 500 calories. It's like, that's 1/3 of your meal, of your caloric intake for the day. If you're on a 1,500 calorie diet on that deficit trying to lose weight, that's 1/3 of the day you've had in their fries. And imagine, you're not just going to eat fries, you're going to put ketchup on them. I had fries in McFlurry. I didn't even get down the McFlurry information here, because that would be way too much for me to even handle. You get fries and, a burger, fries and a sandwich. You eat something with these fries, but this already has 500 calories. By the time you get the burger, that's probably another 500 calories. That's 1,000 calories in one meal of McDonald's. Whoa, guys. So when you hear about 3,500 excess caloric intake to gain a pound, it's not difficult to get that excess. So it had 25 grams of saturated fat, 63 grams of carbs. And if you want to be in that 500 to 1,000 caloric deficit for weight loss, all this right here, consisting of one meal, it just won't help you at all. Even with physical activity, I could spend my day at the gym and still not burn if I was eating all these things on a daily basis. Let's see. So now let's talk about really quickly what is recommended for us, because we're hearing all these numbers and for some of you it may not mean a thing. So I said the caramel Frappuccino had 15 grams of fat. So the Institute of Medicine, or actually the American Heart Association, recommends fat to be 20 to 25% of your caloric intake. So for us, in that 1500 to 1800 caloric intake, we should have about 30 to 50 grams of fat. This had 15, so that's 50% of what I'm trying to get. So that's already half my fat. And mind you, the fat includes almonds, avocados, olive oil, every kind of fat you can imagine is included here. So in addition to this caramel frappuccino, even if I went and ate healthy the rest of the day, the fat I was taking in was still consuming. This had already taken up 50%. So I only have room for 50% of fat throughout my day with anything else I ate. And the fat in the cookie is what, 6 grams? Yep. Nope. It's 10 grams. It's 10 grams of fat. So, I mean, there's not much left to eat. Anyway, so that's the fat. And then the Institute of Medicine recommends 180 to 190 grams of carbs a day. Let's see. 63 grams of carbs were in the large fry, and there were 66 grams of carbs in the caramel frappuccino, and there were 26 grams of carbs in the cookie. So if you're eating, and this includes complex carbs as well, like vegetables, sweet potatoes, all of that. So it all adds up, because by the time I eat my healthy meal, in addition to this, I barely have any more carbs, to make 130, because the fries are already 63. Sheesh. And you really, 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 really need to think about things before you eat it. That's the bottom line. You ate it, negate it. I ate it. I'm headed to the gym now. I've been going to the gym. I've restructured things, and I'm trying to eat healthy all over again. So really consider that. I hope this helped. I hope this wasn't too complicated. I know it's going over 12 minutes, but I really, really, really wanted to make sure I shared all of this with you while it was fresh and in the moment, and I did the research just for you. Ask me any questions. Hang in there. We got this. And in upcoming videos, pretty soon, I'm going to share my starting weight and my goal, and keep me posted on how everything's going. Stay fit!